Did you see the countdown?
Yep, I saw the countdown. Okay. And people are coming on. Welcome, everyone, to Weekend Wind Down with business coach Nancy. I coach interior designers and other creative entrepreneurs. And I'm here today with Sarah Daniele from Mydoma Studio. So I know you're drinking like coffee or something, Sarah, but cheers.
Cheers. I'm drinking water because I couldn't even get my drink I wanted.
So what you guys didn't see is before we came on, we kind of like compared how busy and crazy our weeks were this week. So I'm always happy to have this time. I don't know. To me, this is my part of my most relaxing time of the week because I can just talk to somebody and there's a little bit of an agenda, but not that much. And we just kind of shoot the breeze on how we can help interior designers and other business owners in the interior design space grow their businesses. So I'm really excited. I came back from a big marketing conference last week, which I've been talking about constantly.
Where was that again?
Say that again. It was in Nashville.
Nashville. Nice.
Except it rained every single day and big motivational speakers, and then 4,500 people. And at one point, anyone who didn't have their phone on silent, or actually even some of them who did, because, you know, emergency alerts just make noise anyway. So he's in the middle of some big point that he was making. And all of a sudden, the whole place went off because Nashville had nonstop rain the whole time we were there. And there was a flood, flash flood warning. And the guy goes, "Oh, look at that. I've caused a flash flood in Nashville." So it was really funny, but happy to have you here today because, you know, when I coach interior designers, part of what they struggle with is the sales and the marketing and the motivation and the mindset and the systems. And I work with all of them on that. But when it comes to the systems, I always encourage them to go looking at the multiple systems that are out there, including Mydoma Studio, to say which one feels like it works best with your brain and go do a demo. So today we want to talk about like the benefits of having an interior design client management system and what this can do for their lives. So tell us a little bit about, you know, how Mydoma was formed and kind of where you are today.
Sure, I'd love to. So first I want to say thank you for telling people that they should evaluate different systems, because I think that is number one most important. We say that all the time. Like, just use something.
Yeah, just
use something. Evaluate what your business needs are. Look for gaps in the process and just use something. So thank you, because we need people like you that are advocates to say, go use something. I can say it, but it's better if you say it. So
it's important. You know what? I always say interior designers have the hardest business model because I say this to my clients all the time. Every little tassel, every little pillow, everything, anything can go wrong. You know, when you're laying down carpet, the edging, people can complain about everything. So make your business model simple because the actual service that you provide is not simple.
That's actually a perfect way of putting it, because it really isn't. Even when you have a simple job, it doesn't go, it doesn't always go perfectly simple.
That's true.
Like, so yeah, how did I get started in Mydoma Studio? I told the story so many times, but like, where did it come from? It really came out of a personal need. So my background is interior design, and I was an interior designer full time, doing mostly kitchen and bath, bit of renovation. Eventually went to work for myself. I was actually laid off from a small design company. And it was during that transition period and starting my own business and reflecting on what had happened working for previous companies that I basically thought there's got to be another way. Something here is not working. And now, you know, when you look back, I can make my vision clear. At the time, I didn't really know as much. But I really, you know, I wanted to find a way to create passive income, create a repeatable process. I noticed I was doing a lot of the same work over and over again. I was like, well, how do we speed this up? And my business partner, who is my husband, at the time was not. So yeah, that was good. We made it through that.
I was going to say, that's pretty impressive.
Actually teamed up with me. I had him build me a system. I took like my binder system, very rudimentary, like binders and Excel and all that. And he said, like, let's start making this into something. Like, this is what I want. And he did. And it was, we did that while I was growing my business, and I was testing it with clients and using it. And about 2 years later, but in that time, other designers started asking me, how do I get a Mydoma Studio? And well, you don't, because it's my business. Like, how do I get that? And so we just, started researching and talking to designers and seeing, were there other people out there? Is this a bigger problem? Like, were other people needing a client management system? Were they feeling the pain that I was feeling? And sure enough, they were. So, I'm kind of condensing it all, but long story short, we decided to pivot and make it, take my system and make it into a software.
That's fabulous, though, because I'm looking around because I'm sharing, and I told everyone knows I have a space station here, multiple screens. So let me just share this on my timeline. So how long did you run your interior design business and Mydoma management system?
It's kind of a gray area, like gray time, 3 years maybe.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
because it was called bootstrapping. So we had an idea, all right? So like I was running, my business was doing well, and Tom was working full time at a business. And so we kept funneling our extra money into building Mydoma, and it was less costly because it was the two of us, but it was still heavy on the resources, especially in those beginning stages. And so we did that for quite a while because we didn't know where it was going to go. People had said, yeah, I want this, but it's one thing to say you want it and another thing to buy it or to really use it, right? And it takes time. Like, it was a huge rewrite. So I had to continue working. So I was working while building it, and so was he. And then, we eventually cut down our work and cut down, and then we made the jump. We said, let's do this full time, and hired some people and jumped in with both feet and didn't look back. So
that leap of faith is so scary to so many people.
It was incredibly scary because I'm not one that's usually a big risk taker. How my entire life has been risky the last so many years. But really, that was a big leap of faith, and it came from, honestly, like, early support from the design community. Like, they were so helpful. I don't mean to sound cheesy. Like, they really were beta testing and giving really great feedback and staying involved and reassuring, like, okay, this is what we want, and helping us build it. And I'm like, okay, well, they want it. It seems selfish of me because this is scary to not do it. Absolutely. At this point. Like, we've worked so hard on it at this point, what we might as well. Why would we not finish it? So
I love what you said about it's selfish of me not to keep going even though I'm scared, because that actually was a big theme of the marketing conference I went to. And yeah, because think about it. If I'm really good at helping people run their businesses, and you're really good at giving them a system that helps them run their business, and we're not putting ourselves out there in a way that people know about us, then we're actually not able to help people. I mean, that's like the bottom line. And my dog is on my lap, and she keeps like,
looking so cute.
Yeah, she's like, everyone knows Millie.
Hi, Millie.
For some reason, every time I go live now, she wants to sit on my lap. I don't know if it's because
she loves the camera.
She loves the camera. She wants her screen time. But yeah, they were saying, like, when people feel icky about marketing themselves, if you don't look at it that way, and you look at it like as an interior designer, because that's mostly who will be watching, if people don't know you exist and they don't know what you can do to help them, then you're actually doing them an injustice by not being able to be available to them. They just don't know you exist. So I just think that was a key point.
Yeah, thanks. And I mean, it makes perfect sense. I've heard it time and time again from designers that are scared to put themselves out there. And I mean, you don't have to do Facebook Lives and things if you don't want to, but it's just putting yourself out there. It's going to a networking event. We were talking a bit about this with our upcoming event. Maybe we can talk a little bit about some of that stuff. But, if you don't shake hands, if you don't meet new people, there's no point in going to an event and saying, hey, I went to the event, and not coming back with a takeaway, right? You need to put yourself out there, and that's marketing yourself. It's meeting somebody new. It's going to try something new. It's, putting out an opinion, creating something. Like, there's so many ways you can market yourself and feel good about it. But
yes, and I always say, start with something you're comfortable with, do it consistently, and then let's bring in one thing that's a little outside your comfort zone. So when we went to this marketing conference, somebody posted, and there was a private Facebook group for everybody who was going. Somebody posted this list of 25 things that she didn't do last year when she went to the conference and she wished she had. And it was literally like, talk to somebody online when you're getting coffee, introduce yourself. When you're at the airport, look for the T-shirts and talk to people. And it was a list of 25 things. And I plan on sharing some of those 25 things when I do my presentation in High Point about effective networking. So those are part of what we're going to go over. So I am speaking in thanks to Sarah and Zuo at High Point.
Is the date on that? Sunday, calendar.
No, is it Sunday? No, it's Saturday, isn't it?
Saturday, that's good. I get the date wrong. Saturday.
I'm going to turn my head for a second because my calendar's on this monitor. I think it is. Okay, and then we're going to talk about LuAnn's event, and then we're going to share the screen, and I'm going to show them. It's the 6th. It is April 6th at 10 o'clock.
We're doing breakfast. So Zuo has breakfast in the morning. So everybody can come and, grab a bite and maybe do some early networking. And then if they're uncomfortable networking, Nancy's going to teach you how to do better the rest of market, because it's nothing but networking. And if you're going to go to market, you should own market. So it's actually, now I'm thinking about it, maybe I shouldn't show our cards, but that's a great day we picked for yours. The beginning of market in the morning.
That's honestly why I changed my topic. And in my group, the Interior Design Business Forum, I had put a post one day and so many people responded. I think I did a live, and they were like, that's me. I feel uncomfortable walking in to a party by myself, or I feel uncomfortable walking into a showroom, not always knowing what to do. So I thought it would be a great topic at the beginning of market to talk about how you can get the most out of your networking at market. So
I think it's going to be, I know it's going to be a really good presentation, because you are a superstar networker and teach people how to put themselves out there. You put yourself out there all the time. You lead by example. So I think it's going to be great.
Thank you. I hope so. And I'm becoming a certified body language trainer. So it'll be a little bit about body language too and how you come across. So
I love it. I can't wait.
Yes. All right. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So hi, Darla. Hi, Adam. Hi, Kathleen. Hi, Susan. I just want to make sure we say hi to everyone. Here's another thing. I'm going to share your website on the screen as well, because let's see because I've been playing around with this and it's kind of cool. There we go. Okay. One of the things before we actually start talking about exactly what Mydoma can do for an interior designer's project management and customer management, I wanted to show your website for one other reason, which you'll love to hear. When I was at that marketing seminar, and I started having this debate with Ian Quar from House Digital Design. He's a web designer. They said, what is the first thing somebody wants to do when they hit your website? Think about it. What's the very first thing? And when I pulled up your website, I went, how perfect is that banner? Simplify and grow your business. Stay organized, enhance your value, and increase your profitability with software built for designers by designers. It's like grabs me right away. I don't need to go and look what's your history, any testimonials. It's just like, put your name in here and you'll start the journey. And I love that.
Perfect way to put it. Start the journey. Yeah. And so it allows us to really work with people because they can do that. And if from there, then we can contact them if they want us to, right? And it gives them enough information. Thank you. I like the feedback.
Yeah, and I've got a whole new thing, because you know how everyone's been, get a free PDF and grow your list. And yes, you have to grow your list, but what's the first thing people want to do when they hit an interior designer's website? And I've gotten all different answers. I've asked all my clients that I met with this week, So what would you think?
The first thing they want to do?
Yeah, what do they want to do? They wake up in the morning, they hate their bathroom that day, and it's been on their mind for a while.
I'd see twofold. Either they want to look at the person's work. If they're not familiar with the designer, I think they want to see their work or contact them. Right. And the call to action is like, they want to get information. How do I get in touch with you? Right? Like, make it easy. So
make it easy. And the analogy that I've said on one of my lives, I'll say, make it really quick. Imagine if you go to a boutique store and you open up the front door and there's somebody in there. Hi, how are you? What can I help you with today? And you're like, oh, I need a pair of pants. Going to a conference. They take you to the pants, then they take you to a shirt. Do you need shoes? They take you to the shoes and you have your whole outfit. But what if you went to a boutique and there was 5 people standing in front and say, wait, before you go in, here's something for free. And wait, before you go in, let me give the history of the owner.
Get my stuff.
Right. And wait, before you go in, let me show you all the other people's outfits that they picked out yesterday, you know, and we put these guards in front and that's why when I pulled your website up, I thought that's the perfect open the door and let them in. So I'm just saying.
Thank you.
So tell everybody what Mydoma actually does for an interior designer, how it makes their life easier.
So the easiest way to describe Mydoma is that it basically digitizes your business. Think of it like one big giant binder. So for your entire design business, it takes all of your projects and categorizes them. It allows you to store all the information for them. So you have your finger on the pulse of your business, whether it's invoices, whether it's design decisions, contracts, conversations, permit drawings, sketches, I don't care what it is, warranty information, work orders, like you name it, all the paper, all the decision making, all the little minutia is all stored within each individual project and broken down by space. It's like it just keeps everything together. Lets you be seen.
That's instead of people carrying around canvas bags and creating manual binders. I see designers doing it in all different ways.
So there was a point in my design career, and at this, I was an intermediate, wasn't a junior. I would say I would spend probably a good 10 hours a week on updating design binders. Like that's what I had to do. Wow. What a waste of time, because it was update the design binders with the latest permit drawings, make sure the latest spec sheets are in there, the schedules, and then make sure they're all in there. One in the office, deliver the other one to site, and the other one make sure it's printed on the big giant papers and up for all the contractors. So if one thing was missed, if I missed one piece of paper, think of the cascading effect of error that could happen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But it's one of the things that made me, when I was organizing this, I'm like, okay, we need it all in one place. So the contractor can view it on site. Granted, he can't print it on site unless he has a printer, but he can view the PDFs. So you may still have to bring them to site to print your big ones. But in the off, everybody always knows, whether it's the junior designer, whether it's just your bookkeeper who needs to see all the latest invoices, the purchase orders. Everybody is always in the know, and there's no printing of information. And I've heard other people say, well, I use Dropbox and Google Drive. And yeah, I love G Suite. We're a user of it at our company, but it doesn't organize. I even used to do that. That was one of my first systems when I worked for a company when I was a baby junior, and I was put in a design position that I was way too inexperienced for. So I'd create all these elaborate folders of and the mistakes happen. And inevitably mistakes happen. It's not a scalable process because you have to copy it and make sure the right stuff's in the right place, and it's not systematic. It's way too manual.
Right.
So yeah, Mydoma is your big digital binder that keeps everything in there. It's your secret weapon. You can allow your clients to access it. So that's a really big differentiator, is that the client can actually log in and view the project at specific spots. So you get to choose what they see and what they do.
Easy, little check marks and to open up and hide different things.
Nice and easy, yeah. So you can either hide specific parts of the project, you can hide the entire thing. So if a client is misbehaving, you can revoke access to stuff. You could upload the information, keep it hidden until the client pays. So what we're trying to do is put the designer, we've talked about this analogy before, if you and your client are driving in a car and you're on a road trip together, the designer is not the one driving the car, okay? The designer is the one in the passenger seat holding the map. And I like to use this analogy. It's not mine. I can't take credit for it, but I think it's really relevant to show that as the designer, you have a ton of control. You hold the map. You hold the whole project. But you can give your client certain access, responsibilities, certain design gates. You can have expectations of things they need to do. For instance, sign a contract and pay a deposit prior to us beginning work. So you don't go do the site measure. You don't start looking up inspiration. You don't do any of that, right? Like, we live in a time where you can use the tool to do it. So if you feel uncomfortable, like I'm saying this to you, Nancy, but it's one thing to say it to a friend versus a person to say it to a client, like pay this, sign this, right? You can use the system to do that. You create a client welcome package. You put it in there. You do a version of that on your website that's condensed, that shows your process. So I'm just like throwing it all at you. Like it's, you can manage the client expectations. You can own the process, and you can basically use technology and tools to make yourself more efficient and more effective.
Okay, but what if you have a client who's old school and doesn't want to sign on to the computer to do this?
Absolutely. So what you can do in that case is I recommend that you still put the project in there and you use it as to keep your process in line for yourself. Just print off the pieces as you go. So let's say you go meet with the client, they sign the contract in person. You're like, great, get back to the office, upload it where it belongs in the project, and it'll be date stamped in there that this is the day that it was uploaded.
Okay, so you still have to scan and upload?
Yeah, you have to scan it or take a picture, whatever is like.
Oh, good.
I like the digital version. Yeah, you can do a photo. You can just take your phone and take a photo. That works too. Like whatever. It depends if you want it in a PDF or if you want it in an image file. And then, so you can do that. So you can use the tool, say, to manage all the product selections and the recommendations. And then you just print it off, bring it to them, or you bring your computer and you log in as them and just show them and you walk them through it and you say, and if they want more information and they want to be able to log in at their own, then you show them, here's the login. And you make it nice and easy for them. You can do that even with invoice payment. Okay, I'd like to take your payment right now. Great, let's walk them through it. I'll show you, right? You don't have to wait for them to do it at home by themselves if they're uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah, so many designers are still, and it's okay, but I always recommend, we talked about this, take the credit card, make it quick, get the money in, raise your rates a little bit to cover fees if that really bothers you, but just make it easy for the client. I think that when you have a system like Mydoma, you look so much more professional, right? You look organized. You're not like going and having papers or, even a binder. Again, you could spend 10 hours a week organizing your binders. That's not billable.
No, you can't. You actually can't. I think that's part of the reason I got laid off, probably. How do you bill for that? Like, here's this girl and I'm just paying her right now. I did a lot of things, but there was a lot of that kind of work.
And what if the client has pictures they want to send you as inspiration?
That's right. So the client, again, to take an active role, you can actually give them the option to upload photos directly into their project. Ooh. So I have a love-hate relationship with email. It's a necessary evil of doing business, but I like to reduce the amount of it because I think it leads to error and potential, I'm pretty good at using email, pat myself on the back, but I still delete them accidentally. I still lose them. I'm like, I know I had that email, right? Like, where is it? So the less, I think, of those kind of user errors that we create, so for instance, if you send messages in Mydoma Studio, the client can't delete them. They can't move them. They can't do anything. Like, they are there permanently. Nice. And what that does is it just creates a track record of everything. And even if you just want to send the client a message that says, it was great meeting with you, and you signed your contract on this day, or as per our conversation, you can quick little notes, and that way the client also feels at ease. Because I like to think, when a designer has a more complicated process, say using Google Drive and email and Evernote and PowerPoint and Excel, and they're doing all this stuff, and they've got something and it's working. Imagine what that feels like for the client. Take a step back and say, do you like having all these emails at you? Do you like having different things sent to you? And I'm making maybe a little worse than it is, but just think about what the client feels like.
No, I think it is sometimes that bad. There are clients and designers who accept this. Some of them even like it. The client can text them, email them, call them, Facebook message them. And if something goes wrong, imagine trying to track down all that communication when you said, I told you, or I advised you that this would be delayed. I know it's somewhere, right? And you're starting to check everywhere. I love the fact that all your communication is in one place.
And what it does is, Basically, it comes down to the designer to set the expectations. So Corey Klassen, big shout out to him. I feel like, hopefully I'm getting his quote right. He's told me on multiple times, if it didn't happen in Mydoma, it didn't happen. So like,
I love that.
It's like, great, go write that over in your project. Because, you know, it feels a little constrained, but what you're trying to do is be proactive, not reactive. So meaning like, okay, if we set out our expectations now, I don't do text, I don't do this, you know, go into Mydoma or whatever client management you use and keep our messages all organized in there. Here's what that does. The client may feel like, ugh, I have to do this at first. Okay. But then they start doing it. And then something gets back ordered or they forget when something's being installed. Whatever happens, they can just quickly look at it, right? And so what you're doing is you're being preventative. You're putting out fires before they happen. And I think like that's the best way to do it versus checking multiple messaging apps and emails and God knows where you sent something.
Right. Oh, hi, Jason. So Kelly's saying, as a rendering artist, she loves working with designers who have Mydoma. Everything's is linked, organized, and is beautiful. So yeah,
wonderful.
It is wonderful because when you're using, you know, more and more people are using virtual assistants, even designers, right? Because you can't always get somebody in your town to do what you need. So there's a whole world of virtual assistants out there. My entire staff is virtual, but designers can use virtual assistants as well. And I think that's really important. That can you give them just limited access, just like if they're an employee?
Yes. So we really wanted to take into account that, you know, we wanted to help designers at all different stages in their business. So to do that, we needed to give them the opportunity to have different user roles, what we call them. Mm-hmm. So you can add different users to your account and you can set individualized permissions. So we start you off with a couple that we think, here's interior designer, here's bookkeeper, here's a general contractor, just to get them thinking about maybe what permissions you want to do. But you basically, I would add you, Nancy, as a member on my account. And then I would either generate a new role for you. I'd call you my business coach and say, okay, come on in here. You can come take a look at these things. I don't want you messaging clients. I'd want you to view invoices, let's say, but I don't want you creating them. I don't want you to accidentally create an invoice for my client.
Yeah, so trust me, you don't want me doing anything in there.
Yeah, I'm like, I can just make sure you can view everything. I trust you. Come in, take a look at my account, see how I'm running things. Just, you can't create things. You can just view them. And it works really good with like virtual assistants or just anybody. You're starting out with juniors. You want to make sure that you're controlling or limiting what they can and can't do. So again, you're being preventative. You're saying, okay, this person can't message clients. So they can't accidentally say something. Physically, they're not allowed. I mean, maybe that's a bit too much, but.
But what if you have a junior designer sourcing for you and you want her or him to upload images for you to review, but not yet to be seen by the client? Is that possible?
Yes, they would just turn it off. Okay. So they make it not visible. There's a quick little button. So they can just turn it off from the project. So they could have, let's say there's 30 products they're thinking of, and they just make it not visible. And same with like, let's say you have a junior and you've said, okay, I want you to create a concept sketch for these window coverings. Do a design. And when you're done, like put it into the project, and they would just maybe name it draft and make it not visible to the client. So that way when I log in, I can take a look and see what they're doing. I'm like, that looks good. Let's publish it for the client to see.
And when they're sourcing, when they're sourcing, is there a way for them to just take pictures from their screen and upload it into Mydoma?
If they're yeah, they can use the product clipper. So if they're if they're clipping directly from a website, they can do that. They can just like screen capture things, drop it in if they want. There's multiple ways. We don't make it hard. Like you can basically upload anything you want.
Okay, and pricing. So the designer has their price, and then they have the price that they offer to the client.
Right.
How is that distinguished?
Okay, so we have base and we have retail and trade pricing they can set. So they can say this particular piece is a trade piece, it's $500. And then we have modifiers. So they can mark them up. We can either mark up and discount, just mark up, just discount. So if I'm doing a trade, I can mark it up 100%, and it does not show that to the client. which is really imperative. So the client can basically, will just see the price that you've marked up. But me as the designer, when I'm logged in, I can at a glance see what my markup is on that individual product and what my profit is. And then I can see there's a full sheet that I can export that shows me my profit per project. So I can actually see.
Oh my God, that's a beautiful thing.
Shows it all.
Oh my God. I literally ask my clients every day, how profitable was that job? And I get the blank stare.
Yeah.
You know, I get the, I'm not sure. I'm like, you need to go figure it out. But it does require that they're using the system properly, that they're using it for all their invoicing.
That's right. Yeah. In order to have the best experience, you need to be using all of it. You can use pieces of it and still get benefit for sure. But, you know, to get the full piece of it, like, you know, we built the software to save time. And in order to save time, you have to set it up. So if you don't set it up in the beginning in the proper way, like if you don't put your business address in, that's not going to show up on your purchase orders. If you don't put in your office address, or if you don't create vendor locations, those options won't be there when you try to determine where the delivery is going. Like you'll have to manually type them in, like a small things like that. We make it so we make your life easier. You got to spend an hour setting it up to your preferences, and then it does the work for you.
An hour?
Honestly, I mean,
how many weeks would you say, and I'm going to say weeks, you can tell me it takes days, but how many weeks does it take for someone to feel like they're really utilizing the system to its fullest if they were, let's just pretend they shut down for a week and they were just upping it on to Mydoma?
They were just doing it, like, honestly, a couple days. Like, I think if you had a project or projects and you're not waiting for client decisions, whether you were, say, taking old projects and like just uploading them and seeing how that all works, not very much time. You know, I think it's really simple to use, and we try to make everything extremely simple. So when our engineers are working on things, we have a very robust testing system, and it always, I'd say, I think it's like 90% probably of features are shown to customers prior to release and are tested still to this day. We make sure, like, we have a super robust system of like steps that it goes through to make sure that we put out the best product, it's usable, and your peers have seen it, right? So it's not this, like, they might be like, whoa, this is new when it happens, but what we've done is we've tested it already with, like, internally with our team, and then also with like the design community, like with our customers. So
you basically have beta testers.
Yeah. Yeah, and we let them know, and we switch it up too. We have different criteria, so we don't use the same people because we don't want people to be like, "Oh, this is so good," then not tell us the truth or get used to it. We switch it based on criteria of like what we're doing, and it's been really effective for us to make sure that, you know, we're putting out what we think is the best and is the most useful. Yeah.
Plus, you're always making improvements. I mean, look at this. This is your features page, I believe. Features. You can put in your branding. You can do product sourcing with the clipper in any browser. What does the auto sync mean?
Like everything syncs across different browsers, different devices, different account users. Like everything is synced up. So we just make sure that you never are without something.
Okay. And you can, big one here, tracking their time. Tell us how that works.
Yeah, so time tracking is, there's a time tracker within Mydoma. So you can basically start new tasks, and you can create whether they're billable or non-billable, and set different activities, hourly rates, save all that. And then those pieces get linked back to projects and to clients. And then you can invoice directly, and everything gets synced up. You can have different employees run different hourly rates, so that can be possible. And
I don't like that, by the way.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair. I know. Or if you, but
that's another whole conversation.
You could mark it up though. So you could track a junior, say at like $50 an hour, and then you could mark it up. So if you need to, like when you flip it over to an invoice, you could change the hourly rate. I mean, you know, if a client asks you to see the digest report, then, you know, when they see the original at 50, they may not like that. But.
Okay, no, I mean, if you, whatever you've said, you have to follow through with. Yep. But my point is, if until your junior designer is the lead designer on that job, it's a company rate.
Yep.
Because in the end, they're doing the work. You're looking over their shoulder. You're checking everything. It's why distinguish a junior designer until you get to the stage where, unfortunately, I'm the lead designer, but I'm not available until May. But I have a very talented junior designer who still works under me, under my supervision. And it would actually, her hourly rate is a little different. When that junior designer is the point person for that client and they are taking the lead, then I'm fine with the different rate. But if you're the one still going in and talking, and you're still the one managing the project, and you're the one who's out sick one day and you're giving more to your junior designer than you usually give, or your junior designer is out sick one day and you end up having to manage something you normally wouldn't do for 3 days, now you're charging the client based on your internal delegation within your company.
I love that. That's a really good point.
It's made a lot of my clients a lot more money by just having a flat rate. It's a company rate. And again, until you're at that level where a junior designer truly is taking the lead on jobs.
Right, because they're taking the responsibility. They're taking a lot of the weight off of you.
Absolutely.
That's such a good idea. I think we may make, because we get asked a lot of questions all the time. What do we charge, right? And so
I got to go live in your group. So you have the Mydoma group. Is it just Mydoma users in your group?
No, not necessarily. So there are, I would say, I think all of our customers are in there, or most of them. But we have other ones that join. So we usually we try to vet, we're not going to force you to be a customer. That's not fair. It's a great group of community and sharing, asking questions. We're really big on education. That's a big mandate for us, is to be continuously working with people like you to make sure that we're bringing them the content that is most important and top of mind for their business. So there's a lot of that in there. And it's if they're just interested, as long as they're in the interior design industry, we do try to protect our members. If we have people that aren't in the industry, bye-bye. But
I'm getting a little bit of that in my group now. We've been, bouncing some people out of there.
That's your job, right? You want to keep it a place for your group to learn, or whatever your particular thing is, which I know is learning and sharing.
Learning, support, and sharing. Absolutely. So, okay, we talked about adding more users. Talk to me about getting paid faster.
Okay, so getting paid faster. We make it really easy for you to invoice your client directly and have them at this time pay by credit card. So it's very quick. We have some really exciting features that are in beta right now regarding other payment methods with some lower fees, which is exciting. So that's all coming out shortly. We'll wait till it's finished being tested.
I was going to say maybe like a little ACH transfer type thing,
Maybe. Could be.
And you hear it here first, just so you know.
Instant authentication, maybe. There's going to be some really great stuff. So, we want to stay competitive in the sense of offering, again, the features and the tools that make your job easier, the designer, right? And one of them is getting paid. So for us to stay stale and just say, here's credit card and that's it, no, we have to look at other options, because the client, again, they're the one driving that car, how do they want to pay, right? So they tell the designer how they want to pay, and then we're like, okay, you tell us, and we'll give them options to make it easier. So we make that really easy for the designer basically to accept payment on behalf of their client, and also run a credit card through, have the client pay, or you can run the credit card on behalf of the client. As long as you have a purchasing agreement, make sure you have one of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now I see this under reporting simplified, generate PDFs and export as a CSV file. Now, I don't know what CSV stands for, except I know that it's a listing of all your clients and their email addresses. I don't know what the acronym stands for.
I don't remember what it stands for either, but what it does mean is that it opens in Excel.
Okay. Right, you're downloading. So can you actually, and I might, I might give you an idea if you don't do it already, but everything you do already. Can you actually send group emails to all your clients through Mydoma?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you actually send group emails to all your clients through Mydoma? Can you actually send group emails to all your clients through Mydoma?
not at this time, but that is something that we have been asked about. So again, what's important to their business is marketing, right? They need to market. So we are, we are exploring different options. We're thinking about what, for us, honestly, it's what keeps the designer competitive in today's industry, what allows them to grow their businesses while keeping it all simple, because God knows we wear so many hats.
Oh my God.
More. Yeah, so that's something that's been asked for, and something that we will.
That would be cool, because you can put prospects in there then and just never like make them go live, and then you can be putting, this person had a paid consult but never went further. These are clients, and hold that there so you can actually eliminate maybe an Aweber or a MailChimp or something like that if eventually that's an option. Just saying. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, we never talked about the other side, purchase orders. So you're ordering from vendors. You can also keep track of this.
Yeah. So you can create purchase orders. You create what we call in Mydoma is a living, breathing proposal. So you create this active product list that you make for the client. You approve and remove things. And once you get to somewhere that you're happy with the client or the client's happy, you can then create purchase orders based off of that list. And the purchase orders are done by vendor. So it's really quick, like literally in seconds. It'll scan the project and it'll say, you have these 5 vendors in here. Which one do you want to create a purchase order for? You're like, oh, grab it. Okay, here's all the products you have from Grab It. Do you want to order all of them, or do you want to pick and choose? Pick and choose. So you're never making a mistake. And the whole time it's referencing the project. So it's referencing the price that you said you'd sell it for, price you said you'd buy it for, the quantity you set, the room it's in. So it's made so you can worry less. I mean, you can always double check. And then you basically can create an estimate request and send that direct to the vendor to verify pricing, delivery, pardon me. Or you can email it direct as a purchase order. Say like, this is good to go, let's order this. And then when you get it back, at this time you get it back in an email, the response from the vendor. So you can add a status and a note and monitor all of your purchase orders. And then you convert a purchase order into an invoice and you collect the money. Nothing.
You collect the money from the client, but now what happens when you pay that purchase order to the vendor? You just have to put that in manually that you paid it?
You don't send money from Mydoma to a vendor at this time. If you have paid your vendor, then you mark it, closes it. You would just say like, this is closed, it's paid. But you're not actually sending the money to the vendor. Okay.
But what if you pay the 50% the vendor requires? I know the client pays 100%. Client pays 100%, but you're only paying the vendor 50%.
You can put a note. So you can keep notes on your purchase orders to keep everything in sync. And then once it's closed, it's assumed that it's paid in full.
Okay.
And then that's linked to the invoice that is marked up and also ideally paid in full.
I'm loving this. Okay, good. All right. Now we talked about purchase orders. We talked about profits made easier. We talked about that, adding your vendor discounts and markups and not having it seen by the client. Talk to me about this, because this seems to be really hot for Mydoma, the recurring revenue and the packages in this world of e-design. So I want to hear all about that.
So that is really what kicked off Mydoma. Like I knew we needed, like I'm talking like in the very beginning, like 5 years ago, like when this was like an idea in the back of my mind. It was, okay, we need a system, we need a process, yada, yada, I was like, I need a way to sell this stuff. So we came up with this idea of productizing services. We said like, what if, and I use this example, it's very old now, but I was constantly doing white shaker kitchens with Subway, Backsplash, and I could basically pick the gray 18 by 18 tile in my sleep. And I just knew, and I was like, well, couldn't I just put that together as a package and say this is $1,500 or $2,000 and it includes this many hours and here's a starting off point with some suggested finishes. You might like this if this suits you. Like it'll save the client money, and I'm not working on projects that I don't really interest me. Make money while I sleep. So that was kind of the idea of it, and it really grew from there. We said, okay, we want to give designers a way to productize services. So one, they could sell consultations, they could sell rooms to go. They can call them whatever they want. So these would be pre-curated rooms. So let's say, you create, think of IKEA. You go and it's like, this is the average 10 by 10 kitchen, right?
Right.
You just, again, it doesn't fit everybody's house, but it's a starting off point. For X amount of dollars, here's how you can set up a really nice guest bedroom. Here's how you can set up a queen bedroom, right? And then it includes, like you could, say it includes 2 hours of my time to review and make sure it fits in your space, or you can charge additional hours if they need it. So what do we got? So consultations, these rooms to go. You could do gift certificates if you just wanted to give some of your time. This idea of creating ebooks. So if you had, remember you were talking about digital goods. So if you want to do true reoccurring revenue and have zero work, I guess, outside of creating the digital goods, you could create some, and we get those sell a lot from designers.
Wait a minute, say that again. What is selling a lot?
So this idea of like a digital good. So you would create like top 20 paint colors, how to decorate a coffee table, how to set up a mantle for Christmas.
So it's a PDF.
It's a PDF. It's something you've created.
A small ebook.
Yeah. We should got like, it doesn't have to like a small ebook. Yeah, a PDF.
Right.
Sell it for $1,000. Sell it for $50. Corey Klassen, I want to pull him out. Like he came up with this client checklist, I think how to create a project or project book, workbook or something like that. And I think he had it for like $10 at first, or maybe even free at the very beginning, then $10, now it's 20 or 30, And I think it's ingenious because I think a lot of designers buy it because they want to know like what's his process. But can you imagine I'm a client and I'm thinking about working with Corey, and Corey is a high-end designer and he's going to charge fair price for his services. But, it's an investment. How great is it that I could spend $30, right, to learn what to expect during a renovation and get all this great insider information? And what do you think that's doing? That is setting expectations, and as the client is evaluating different people to work with who may cost less, may not be as organized, they're going to come back to Corey. Because what they're going to do is they're going to look at this book, go ask these other designers, like, do you do this?
Do you do this?
They're like, no. And they're like, Corey is $1,000 more making this up, but wow, what a difference. I think it's so smart because he also, by selling that, he's vetting potential future clients. He's now got them in his funnel of people. He's like, I can message them, I can call them, I can email them. So
absolutely. And he's got people who are interested in they're renovating their homes. So that's why they're getting this checklist. And when they read all the detail that's in there, they might get slightly overwhelmed and think, I don't want to do this myself. I need help. And since he's been so giving and giving this to him and his branding is all over it, who do you think they're going to call? I say this all the time. People do not hire you for information. They hire you for implementation.
Yep.
You can literally give all your secrets away, secrets of how you would choose colors and how you choose, window treatments, designs. You can just spew anywhere through blogging, through your social media, through videos on YouTube, however you want to do it. It does not mean people are not going to hire you, because when they start to do it themselves, they get overwhelmed and they end up calling the person who they've been watching or reading. So
they're not the expert, right? It's like, I'm going to self-diagnose myself because I can. And then at a certain point, you're like, well, maybe I should go see a doctor because, Dr. Google told me a couple things and I tried some remedies, but I'm not getting any better, right? So
yeah, I love Dr. Google. I'm an offender of that. I rarely go to the doctor, but when I do, she'll go, did you Google it? I'm like, of course I Googled it. This is what I have. She's like, that's not what you have.
I have my full diagnosis.
Exactly.
So I just I know we're going to wrap up soon here, but the packages, this idea of making recurring revenue is something that is like the foundation of why we built Mydoma. We wanted to give designers this way, I can't say this enough, to compete and excel and grow their business in an industry that's changing. We saw some early trends back in 2013. We were just starting to, percolate this idea and, work through it. And, those trends are super prevalent today, right? We're seeing Houzz and Pinterest. Amazon, Wayfair, like the industry is changing so much, and you can be scared of the change, or you can embrace the change, and you can modify your business and, you know, switch a couple things and try something new. And that's the way you're going to survive and excel, is if you try something different. So that's where packages come in. Give clients an easy way to buy your services. Don't make it hard.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. So one of the things that in my course, the Interior Design Profit Formula, I kind of deep dive into designer for a day and designer on call and different ways that you can start selling to people who believe them, you know, they fashion themselves as do-it-yourselfers, and sometimes they are, and that's great if they can do it themselves. But there are other packages you can sell related to time. Is that something that they can put into Mydoma and actually sell those packages as well?
All of them. Yep. So you can say designer for a day, explain what it comes with, put all your beautiful like sample images, show a testimonial from a client, and then break down what it includes. And then when the client actually buys it, you can include a link to book your appointment. So let's say your flow is, the first step is to book a call after you buy. So you can put that in there, like book a call with me, and then we'll work through the process. Or you put it, like if it's designer for a day, let's say this, you know, it's designer for a day, and you reserve 5 of these a month. And how much, I don't know, let's say somebody charges what, $1,500, I don't know, $2,000, something like that. More?
$1,500 to $1,800, depending on where you live and depending on how many hours. So
you're gonna make me do math. Okay, so 15, 30, 45, 60. Okay, so
I got a calculator here.
You do 4 of these appointments. Imagine this: you're setting up your schedule. You're like, I'm gonna sell 4 of these a month at $1,500. Okay, and yeah, see, 15, 30, 45, what, 6,000, right?
1,500. I do this on my webinar all the time. Times 4 a month.
Yeah.
6,000 a month times 12. You're making $72,000 a year.
Okay, so
you're basically building a landing page for them.
You use Mydoma Studio. We charge you $600 for the year to make $72,000 if you're successful. If, you know, even if you did half of that, I think your return on investment's pretty good. So you basically create a package that's called Designer in a Day. It's $1,500. You set up your calendar booking. You reserve spots throughout the month where people can book this. So it's self-serve. You don't just get a call out of the blue. You're like, okay, I'm going to do 4 a month. I do them on Wednesdays. Wednesday's blocked off. If someone books it, that's the day I do it. I mean, hey, you can switch your schedule. If someone wants to pay for it, you can switch your schedule. But the point is, you know, it's super easy. And so then you could do like designer for a day. You could do half day shopping, like with clients, and you block those off. You can create all these. I get excited.
Oh my God. I know, I get excited too, because so the 4-day thing I went to it was ClickFunnels Live, and that's the system I use to build my landing pages, right? So when someone signs into one of my webinars, they're going to a landing page they're asking name, email address, and then it takes them through the journey to where they understand what the webinar is. They sign up for the webinar. Same with if someone wants to do an initial consultation with me, it goes to a landing page. You're basically creating the beginning of every funnel an interior designer needs. It could be a free PDF. It could be one of their services. It takes them to their calendar. Wait, now, is there a calendar in Mydoma too?
Not yet, but it's coming. You can link.
That would be really exciting.
Coming. You can link calendars.
Okay. I love this. You're basically the landing page for anything they want to
and then
drive a client to.
You know that fun word widget, which I don't know if everybody knows what a widget is, but we give you a really easy way to put a widget on your website. So you can actually you create the design package, and then there's this little code that it shoots out, and you just copy and paste that code, throw it on your website, and it shows.
You make that sound easy, but you know what? I still need a web designer to do that.
It depends on my website builder. So here's the thing. We give you the code, and if you can do it yourself, awesome. You may need to contact your developer depending on who's built your website, but if they charge you a lot of money, they just got to paste some code in there. It's pretty simple. So.
Okay.
That lets you be more professional and put those packages front and center on your blog, on your website, and then it looks really professional. Not just
okay. So your development department, is that where your husband comes in? Is he all
he's our CTO of the company still. It's really great. I have to work closely with him.
So how many projects are going on right now?
About three right now. And then we have so we do quarterly. We share this all the time. So we do quarterly update. We do quarterly big reviews. Let's back up. We set up a full roadmap of what we want to do throughout the year. And that's based on overarching, like what's going on in the industry, what our customers are asking for, and what our vision is for the company. And so we kind of like put them all together. And then we have a quarterly meeting where we review all feedback that has come in over the last 3 months. So we can make sure that we're staying relevant and like looking at how this stacks up. And should we bump the project we're working on? Should we like change something so we really do take feedback to heart, and we use it to help us make educated decisions. We're not guessing. We're not just building what we want to build. We actually really do listen.
I love that. So we do have a question from Victoria. Does it take the place of QuickBooks or work with it?
That's kind of a two-sided answer I have for you. So no, it will not replace QuickBooks. It is not a full-fledged accounting software, meaning like we're not doing income statements and balance and
sheets, right? Profit and loss.
Yeah, that's not happening. But what it does is I have no desire to build that. There are just some really great accounting softwares out there, and there are people who are doing it really well. So let's let them do it. Yes. But what you can do is you can create, again, all your invoices and purchase orders and export that information and then put it into QuickBooks. And we are looking at some easier ways to work closely with QuickBooks and Xero, FreshBooks. I think there's a couple others on there, but we're looking at the major players and just how to make that even easier for the designer. But yeah, I do encourage that you still keep both. You can just do majority of your work in Mydoma and then use QuickBooks to really understand above and beyond those more advanced reporting, like how the health of your business is really doing.
Okay. So before, see, I told you an hour goes quick. Basically, I told you. So before we say goodbye, obviously they know I've had it up on the screen the whole time, and you give a 30-day free trial for Mydoma. So they can set up a project or two in there. They can even set up a phony project and just play around with it to start getting to know it, right? Yeah,
it's 30 days free using every single feature. So we didn't want to limit anything. We want you to understand, depending where you're at in your business, whether you're just starting out and you want to set up a phony project, or you have, top of mind, hey, I need to take credit card payments. I need to figure this out. I want to do it now. Okay, we'll just go do that and we'll help you do it. You can kind of jump around on what makes sense for what problem you want to solve in your business during those 30 days. And I encourage anybody who's even remotely interested, you can use the chat on the website to get in contact with our sales team. And their goal is not just to sell you something, I swear. They will actually help you evaluate what's right for your business, because we may not be it. And you can use that chat or give us a call. And you can book demos in advance of even setting up a trial. So if you really just want to have a conversation with somebody and see some stuff about the software prior to setting up the 30 days, do that. We're okay with it. So
excellent. Okay. And you and I are both authors in LuAnn Nigara's next book that's coming out. I forget the title at the moment, but we are going to be at LuAnn Nigara Live in Jersey with the other, 12 or 13 authors of this book?
I think. Beginning of April, end of March.
End of March, beginning of April. If you guys haven't gotten your tickets yet, you will get to meet Sarah and I and the other 12 or 13 authors.
It's going to be so awesome. Like, she doesn't do anything unless it's like the best. And I think just the whole flow of getting to, get the best of having LuAnn moderate. So there's going to be conversations. Each expert's going to be paired with a designer. We're going to be talking about our chapters and having these engaging conversations. It's all about the conversation, as she says, with LuAnn moderating and kind of digging a bit deeper. There's going to be some great vendors there, dinner, networking. So got to get people
networking, all about networking. Yes. The best part, I really like what LuAnn's doing, because the best part is that during breakfast, lunch, dinner. We're not going to be untouchable. We're there. We're sitting down and eating with people, and you can come up and talk to us, ask us questions on things that, you know, you may need to know from us, want to know from us. And it's 100% all about the sharing. Oh, and Peter Lang is on, the designer CPA. He's on right now watching. He was on Weekend Wind Down a couple of weeks ago, right, Peter? So he's an author there also. And Wingnut Social, Darla is going to be the MCs. I know. Natalie and Darla are going to be the MCs. So it's just going to be an educational, fun 3 days, right? 2.5, 3 days. I have to get really connected to this because I need to know where I'm driving. At least it's driving distance for me. You have to fly, right?
Yeah, but I got a flight every hour. It's like, it's
that's
like the one place that's like nonstop, like every hour to Jersey. I'm like, really?
Oh, good. Okay, that makes it easy.
I like the flexibility.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for being here today on Weekend Wind Down. I'm business coach Nancy. I coach interior designers to help you make more money, attract your ideal client. So if you need me, reach out to me, nancyganzacoffer.com. And if you do not have a customer management software, give Mydoma a try. It's a free 30-day trial, right? Mydomastudio.com.
Thank you, Nancy. Love chatting with you.
All right.
And I'll see you soon.
All right. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you, Sarah. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.